The first video I ever uploaded on the channel was going over some of the Easter eggs and references found in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I remember that researching for that video was a lot of fun, so I have decided to do more videos on the topic. With that in mind, in today's video I'll be going over every Easter egg, reference and secret that I could find in the Ezio Trilogy of games. I won't lie though, Assassin's Creed 2 doesn't have that many references, but does have a couple of interesting secrets. Also, please let me know in the comments if I've missed anything, as I will make a pinned comment with all the missing ones if there is any. I think to start off with, it is probably right to begin with perhaps the most well-known Easter egg in the game, and that is the first meeting with Uncle Mario in Sequence 3 after escaping Florence. Upon defeating Vieri and his men, Uncle Mario will say this line of dialogue to Ezio.
Do I know you from somewhere?
Don't you recognize me? It's me, Mario!
I'm sure that 99% of the people who are watching this video will know that this is the famous line said by the character Super Mario from the series of the same name. Another nod to the series can be seen in the short cutscene after collecting and depositing 50 of the feathers found around the world.
I've seen you bringing Maria the feathers. I appreciate what you're trying to do for her, but you have to face facts. It's not working. Maybe you should focus on more important things. I've had a new weapon made for you at the blacksmith's. You can go pick it up whenever you want.
Uncle Mario will enter and tell Ezio that he had a new weapon made at the blacksmith's. This weapon just happens to be a warhammer, and so it is likely that this is also a nod to Mario as he first appeared as Jumpman in Donkey Kong. Interestingly, Mario in that game can sometimes wield a hammer to progress through the game's levels. In Assassin's Creed 2 there are a total of 20 glyphs in the game, and in some of them you may have noticed what seems like random numbers when trying to solve them. Well, the numbers are actually hidden messages that can give you a bit more information about things going on within the glyph, or in some other cases it will just confuse you even more. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'll give two examples. In Glyph 8, whilst doing the part with Tsar Nicholas II, you can find this binary cipher, and it translates to the date he and his family were murdered. In the same glyph, when you progress to the picture of Joan of Arc, this binary code is hidden, and again it translates to her date of death. Another example is Glyph 3, which has the pictures of Franklin D. Roosevelt, Harry Houdini, and Mahatma Gandhi, with each picture having a code. The code in FDR's image translates to "The Masons brought it across the sea, George Washington passed it on." It's also worth noting that the use of "it" in this code is referring to an apple of Eden, and George Washington passed it on from president to president. The codes in both Harry Houdini's and Mahatma Gandhi's image refers to how they died, with the in-game lore being different in the fact that the people responsible were Templar agents. These two examples I've given you are the more easier ones to understand, with the other remaining hidden codes being slightly more deep and detailed. During Sequence 13 you return to Florence after many years. Naturally for Ezio, this city holds a lot of painful memories, and this can be visualised if you decide to return to his childhood home. Upon entering the Palazzo Auditore, you will trigger Ezio's Eagle Vision automatically, which has him being able to see his family all together for one last time. The vision also includes Claudia and Maria, even though they are alive and well at this point in the game. If you choose to leave the palazzo and re-enter, the vision will not reappear, so that's something to keep in mind if you decide to come here during your next playthrough. This is a really nice detail in the game, but unfortunately from what I have gathered, this vision is not available on the PC version of the game. This next Easter egg is also a really well known secret in the game, but for those who don't know, you can actually trigger a secret cutscene where you can see a giant squid. In order to trigger it, you will need to get to the point with the parkour puzzle during the Assassin Tomb under the Santa Maria della Visione that is located in Venice. When you get here, you will want to pull the first lever, but instead of proceeding, just walk over to the nearby ledge and look into the water for around 30 to 60 seconds. This will cause the first cutscene to play. The second cutscene will happen if you go back to the lever, interact with it, and then return to the ledge, then look into the water again. Unlike last time, this cutscene should happen almost immediately. Similar to how the glyphs have hidden words in them, the Codex wall when complete actually has a symbol hidden within it. The best thing about this is the symbol hidden within the Codex sheets is one that everyone who has completed the game before has seen. As we can see on the map, there are 8 assassin symbols on the map and various dots. The dots indicate the locations of various pieces of Edens, and the assassin symbols indicate the rumoured locations of significant Isu temples. Now in order to see the hidden symbol, you need to draw a line from and to each assassin symbol on the map. I've gone ahead and made my own, even though it isn't the best. I think it gets the point across. Anyway, this symbol is the exact same one as the one that is projected by the Apple of Eden and Staff of Eden when opening the vault underneath the Vatican. This next one is more of a secret or an interesting detail rather than an Easter egg, and that is some dialogue that you can get from Caterina Sforza during the first memory of sequence 6 when you meet her for the first time. What you are supposed to do is travel over to her on a gondola, but if you swim over to her you can hear some unique piece of dialogue.
What the hell is this?
I'm rescuing you.
Without a boat? What are you going to do? Carry me! Go get the boat!
Sometimes when you are running around and doing the usual free running and climbing, you can hear a male bystander say this.
Another capering crusader. Que idiota.
This is of course a reference to the DC Comics superhero Batman, who has been referred to as the Caped Crusader in the past. This is such a small little reference that you may not even pay attention to it whilst you are running around, but it is definitely my favourite reference in Assassin's Creed 2. I didn't know where to put this secret when originally making the video, as it can be put in any of the 3 games, and that is that Ezio can use some secret weapons that you have to pick up from the floor. There is the common known ones such as the swords and axes that the guards drop, but you can also find some other ones. Another one you can find from guards is the spear, but what makes this one interesting is that it can be broken in half and you can still wield it. In order to find the other ones, you will need to find bystanders around the map who are using them, such as the broomsticks, fishing poles, rakes, and pitchforks. I have heard in the past that you can use the violins, but I haven't been able to pick them up, so I'm not sure if this one is true or not. In Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Niccolo Machiavelli is one of the main characters throughout its narrative. In real life, Machiavelli wrote a famous book called The Prince, and in the game there are 3 references to it. Firstly, what is the book even about? Well, in simple terms, it is a political guide that explains how rulers can gain and hold on to power. It emphasises practical results over traditional morality, suggesting that leaders may need to act ruthlessly or unethically if it serves the survival of the state, an idea that gave rise to the term Machiavellian. The work serves as a handbook or realpolitik, focusing on how things actually happen, the effectual truth, rather than how they ideally should. The first reference to this can be seen, or rather heard, in Memory 4 of Sequence 3, when Niccolo asks Ezio how he got the aid of all 3 guilds in the city, to which Ezio simply replies with Virtu.
I can't imagine how you did it. Virtu, Machiavelli. Virtu.
This is relevant because in The Prince, Virtu refers to a ruler's skill, strength and decisiveness, not moral goodness, enabling them to gain and hold power by managing fortune in the state's favour. It may involve ruthless or harsh actions, focusing on political effectiveness and excellence rather than traditional virtue. The second reference to the book is in Memory 5 of Sequence 7, during the cutscene where Ezio and Niccolo are on the roof of their headquarters in Tiber Island. During this cutscene, Niccolo will say this.
I intend to write a book about you one day.
If you do, make it short.
This references that Ezio probably gave Niccolo a lot of inspiration to the contents of the book in regards to the in-game lore, obviously not for the real-life version, but the reverse can probably be stated that Ezio's character in Brotherhood has some of the characteristics of those spoken about within the book in real life. The final reference to the Prince is the achievement or trophy for getting 100% sync on all the main memories in the base game and the Da Vinci Disappearance DLC, as the name of the achievement for doing so is the title of the book. Similar to Assassin's Creed 2, this game also has a few nods to the Super Mario series. The first one can be found within Memory 2 of Sequence 4, during the part where you need to carry Lucrezia all the way to the cell where Caterina is being held. When Ezio grabs her, there is a chance that she will say this line of dialogue.
Scream, however, and I will be forced to take your tongue.
Rescuing princesses from castles now?
This is most likely a reference to the fact that Mario rescues Princess Peach from castles during some of the levels of Super Mario. What further supports this is that the name of the achievement for completing this sequence is Principessa in another castello, or Princess in another castle in English. This is said by the mushroom retainers during the end of some of the levels. The other Super Mario reference is related to the achievements as well, but instead of it just being a name, the art of the achievement is also a reference to the Italian plumber, and that is because the name of the achievement is Plumber, and the icon has a pipe that looks extremely similar to the green pipes featured in the Mario games. So Metal Gear Solid is a game series, and that's all I know about it, so I had to do a bit more research regarding these next references. However, there are 2 references to the series in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, the first being encountered right before starting Memory 8 during Sequence 4, To start the memory, you need to interact with a very modern looking cardboard box. Fans of the Metal Gear Solid series would probably recognise this reference instantly, as hiding in a cardboard box is a method of stealth used by several protagonists throughout the games. The next reference, if I'm correct, is a reference specifically to Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. The reason being is that if you get at least a bronze medal on all of the Animus Virtual Training Program challenges, then you will unlock the Raiden outfit, which is pretty much the exact same as the appearance of Raiden in Metal Gear Solid 4. Furthermore, the way you have to unlock the outfit is a reference to Raiden's history, as Raiden excelled in virtual training missions. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was developed by Ubisoft Montreal, and so it would only be fitting that there was a nod to them in the game. This reference can be found in Memory 3 of Sequence 6 when Ezio approaches the gate whilst disguised as a French soldier. The guard at the gate questions Ezio about what part of France he is from, and then Ezio replies with this.
What part of France are you from?
Montreal!
Ubisoft Montreal is based in Montreal, Canada, but there is a commune in France with the same name. Also, from what I have gathered, Canada has quite a bit of French presence, so that may play a part in it. A lot of the secrets and Easter eggs in this game are actually more prevalent in the modern day segments, but before I cover them, I need to quickly talk about the two remaining smaller references. This first one is yet again a reference found in an achievement name, this one being Grand Theft Dressage, which you get for stealing 5 horses from their riders while remaining on horseback. This is a clear reference to the Grand Theft Auto series, which shares the name with the real crime of unlawfully taking a car, or in this case a horse. The other remaining reference that is found in the name of something is the name of the first memory in Sequence 4, which is called Castello Crashers, which is of course a reference to the beat-em-up game developed by the behemoth called Castle Crashers in 2008. So the remaining references and secrets for Brotherhood are all found in the modern day, so we'll go in the order you can witness them. The first one takes place during the segment where you need to traverse through the underground with Lucy to find a way to open the door leading to the sanctuary. At one point, Desmond and Lucy reach a wall that they can't climb naturally, and so Desmond gives the recommendation that he can give Lucy a boost.
Desmond, we can't climb this.
How about you give me a boost?
That's a bad idea.
This is most likely a callback to Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series, who is voiced by Nolan North, who is also the voice actor for Desmond in Assassin's Creed. The boost part comes from the fact that during the Uncharted series, you have to boost a lot of your partners when traversing. So after getting everything set up in the sanctuary, you can freely traverse Monteriggioni as Desmond, and when you leave the sanctuary, you can see a red trail leading from the villa back entrance to the fountain near the steps. Now this one really isn't a reference or anything like that, but for many years people had different theories suggesting what this could be, as there was no clear explanation as to what they were for. One of the theories were that the steps are foreshadowing the fact that Lucy is actually an enemy and Templar. This would make sense considering the colour used is red, which often highlights a threat. However, after doing some research online, people have said that in more recent years, Ubisoft stated that the red trail was supposed to help people return to the sanctuary in case they got lost, but to be honest, I like the Lucy theory a lot more. When in the actual sanctuary, if you come over to Lucy's desk, you can see a still image from Project Legacy. Project Legacy was a Facebook game which was first made available on the 30th of September 2010. In it, players were recruits for Abstergo Industries' Project Legacy, who relived the genetic memories of other individuals through a program known as the Data Dump Scanner, an Animus software patch that could allow a person to relive the memories of someone who was not their ancestor. During the end cutscene for the game, where you find the Apple of Eden with Sean, Rebecca and Lucy, the Apple of Eden will activate, causing a wide range of symbols to be projected around the room. Sean will recognise 2 of the symbols in particular, the Phrygian cap and the Masonic eye.
I know this, I know that symbol. That's a Phrygian cap. It stands for freedom, and that's a Masonic eye. Now those two...
The reason these are important are because they are basically hinting to future games that were coming out many years later. The evidence for this is that one of the writers, Jeffrey Yoelem, confirmed on Twitter that the 2 symbols were put there to tease Assassin's Creed 3, with the Masonic Eye, or the Eye of Providence, being a symbol during the War for Independence. The Phrygian cap, however, was used as a symbol during the French Revolution, which hinted at Assassin's Creed Unity that released 4 years later after Assassin's Creed Brotherhood released. Speaking of future games, during the ending of Assassin's Creed Revelations, when Desmond wakes up, the door to the truck opens and the camera quickly pans towards the cave that leads to the entrance of the Grand Temple, which of course is where the modern day group spend most of their time during Assassin's Creed 3. However, if you have a keen eye during the part where the camera zooms in, you may notice something. If you are like me and didn't notice it, then basically if we slow the clip down, you see none other than Juno through the window just before William opens the door. Honestly, I didn't even notice this for so long and even if you guys all knew about this, I still think it's so cool. So during the first couple of hours of the first Assassin's Creed, Altair gets demoted and needs to find out who betrayed the assassins and open the gates for the Templars. During the course of that, you find out that a man named Missoon and an assassin named Jamal are the traitors. Then when you leave Masyaf, you can actually find Jamal still doing his duties, as he's displayed in a red colour when in Eagle Vision. I needed to give you some context to who Jamal is in order to make this next Easter egg easier to understand. During the first Altair memory in Revelations, as soon as you take control of Altair and turn around, you see a lone assassin standing next to a horse, and in Eagle Vision he shows up in red, which indicates that this too is Jamal, the same traitor found in the first Assassin's Creed. During the first part of the game where you as Ezio are traversing Masyaf, you'll get to the point where you reach the lobby of the castle. Now there are 3 separate visions you can see in this room of Altair's past, but in order to see them you need to interact with 3 different items. Going in chronological order of when the events happened, you will first want to interact with the bookcase on the 2nd floor. This vision is just after Altair killed Al-Muwalim and picked up his body. The second one, where he jumps through the glass, is when Altair escapes Masyaf after his wife dies. The final one is when he returns to Masyaf to confront Abbas and shoots him with the hidden gun. During the Assassin Recruit memory, where you need to recruit the Brawler, you have to keep fighting a man who doesn't give up. He will keep fighting even after losing. Then after he loses a few times, he will give in and say this line of dialogue.
We will call it a draw, alright? You are quite a fighter.
This is a reference to the 1975 movie called Monty Python and the Holy Grail, specifically the scene where the Black Knight challenges King Arthur to a sword fight, and then once his arms and legs have been severed, the Black Knight, who still refuses to admit defeat, says a similar line.
Alright, we'll call it a draw.
You know in Revelations when you pickpocket a few people in the streets and they all decide to throw hands at the same time? Well, there is actually a reference to none other than Muhammad Ali during these interactions, as one of the people who decide to confront Ezio for picking their pocket sometimes may say this line of dialogue. This is of course a reference to the famous quote said by Muhammad Ali, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee," when he was describing his fighting style. Unlike the previous game, which had a bunch of modern day references, Revelations only has one that I could find. Essentially, when you are first on the island, Subject 16 talks to Desmond about it, explaining how the island was a test world created by Rebecca. During one of his lines, he'll say this.
What is this place?
It's nice, isn't it? We're in the guts of the Animus. The original test program. No memories here, just basic physics, weather simulations. Hello, world!
So this is a reference to something to do with programming, which I know nothing about, even after researching it, so I'll just read what I found. A Hello World program is a computer program that outputs or displays Hello World to a user, being a very simple program in most programming languages. It is often used to illustrate the basic syntax of a programming language for a working program, and as such is often the very first program people write. So yeah, if you get it, then that is why it is a reference. For this next segment, I will just put all 3 together because they are just names of things in the game. Starting with the Spider Assassin achievement for climbing the Hagia Sophia in under 25 seconds is of course a reference to Spider-Man. In the multiplayer game mode, which is no longer available to play, there was a title that you could unlock called the Man of Steel, which is a reference to the Man of Steel himself, Superman. Finally, the name for the memory titled The Spy Who Shunned Me is a reference to the 1977 James Bond movie called The Spy Who Loved Me. During the first memory of Sequence 4, where Ezio dresses as a minstrel, you can perform a nice range of songs which reference many of the characters you meet throughout Ezio's journey.
While traveling through Forlì, I took her at her leisure. She said it's strictly business, such business was my pleasure. Vieri, oh Vieri, yes, he of Pazzi fame, was just as mad as his old man, and ended just the same. Cesare, oh Cesare, a man of great depravity, believed himself immortal till he had a date with gravity. There once was a man named Duccio, a rat with lecher's taste. Whenever he would show himself, my feast would find his face. Before Rodrigo was the Pope, he was a man of vices, and once he gained the Holy See, he raised his vices' prices. Fair Lucrezia could not sate her appetite for lovers, but I suspect she would be fine with 2 or 3 more brothers. Venezia's grim doge, a fierce and evil man, was just a trifle red of face when I upset his plan. Young Cesare, I heard him say, could not be killed by man, so I tossed him through the air to see where he might land.